5,430 pounds. The ultra darn popular Freedom Express 257 BHS here at Haylett RV of Coldwater, Michigan. At Haylett RV, this is the most popular version of this floor plan. So, you know, there's plenty of other brands that build something similar. The Freedom Express, by far, has punched through the mix as the one more people want to own. Why is that? Well, that's why we put this video together here. So grab your popcorn. She's not going to be the shortest one I've ever put together, but hey, not the longest one. Enjoy. Now, one of the better qualities of this one here is that with the slide closed, as we're seeing currently, you can get to basically everything. They've got a big countertop, they've got a big slide out, but they positioned everything, whether it was on purpose or not, just so you can really easily like walk through here, slide through here. You can get to the bunks, you can get to the bathroom, you can get to all the kitchen storage, and you can still get to this huge sort of double pantry closet arrangement to really get this thing packed up or make a quick travel stop, which is awesome. Something I've mentioned in previous videos, and it still holds true, is that I've been kind of criticized, both internally and by some of the other manufacturers that we represent at Haylett RV, for being a little too personally biased and too you know, friendly about our Freedom Express RVs at Haylett RV. And I think that's just a good indicator that as a person who looks at, and I guess you could say reviews and examines RVs for a living, I've looked at these things and I've said, yeah, I dig it. This is something I could personally enjoy. I see what they're doing here. I'm on board with it. There's a lot of little reasons why, you know. I've always said every RV does something better than someone else. So why am I all in love with these things? Well, first of all, they've got a pretty freaking sweet lighting package going on in here. It will lighten and brighten right up. And the light interior decor package they generally have going on here, I think it is perfect. Now, in the dinette area, in a high seat traffic area, in a bunkhouse with kids that are sometimes bringing dirt in the RV, we do typically outfit these with the darker interior decor, but there is a lighter one as well called Cashew. This is, oh, this replaced Russet. What's it called? It's called Harbor, I believe, is the name of the new dark decor in these. Generally pretty much the same like leatherette fabric, just a little different light fabric inset into the lower back area of that. So, you know, it's got a good light dark, mostly light, contrast package, brighter lighting, and a bigger interior ceiling height. It's got a 6'9" interior wall with a linear interior profile, meaning flat roof inside. It is vaulted outside for walkability and load bearing, of course. So a lot of RVs in the lightweight category, almost everything else, has a 6.5 foot wall. This is 3 inches taller. It means a taller slide out, taller ceilings, taller bunks, taller cabinets, taller shower, bigger, better overall feel. But it's not really heavier than anyone else, and we'll talk about how they accomplish that outside of the RV in a few minutes now. Now, you've got cross breeze windows all around the dinette. I mean, your slide side windows, that big picture window right there, you're going to open everything up for some great airflow. You can see you've got the little LED accent lights under the dinette, and speaking of which, I've mentioned all the time how everyone does something better than someone else. Well, one of the things Coachman does, and especially true in this Freedom Express, is storage. And with that free floating elliptical base table right there, they make it very easy to get to it. We'll fold this down into a sleeper in just a few minutes. But right now I want to zoom in down here. Right above those accent lights, you see you've got doors for easy access to the storage on both sides of the dinette bench. And then the rear bench. You see slides open. You have little sliding access panels left and right to be able to get to the rear bench storage as well. Very handy for like griddles and stuff you don't use every day, but you do want to bring them camping with you. They make it so that you don't ever have to remove the cushions on that dinette to get the storage if you don't want to. Now over here is an area where they definitely took it up from 10 to 11, starting down below that bunk over here. We've got what I like to call just a little like pirate chest storage space. Not the biggest chunk in the world, but it's over here in this big, like 6'9" closet. You've got a pair of drawers, one for each of the bunks, so like a socks and underwear drawer if you want. Now on the right side, we've got a dedicated hanging closet. On the left side, you've got a convertible closet. Those are removable shelves, and you do see hanging racks on top of both of those cabinet spaces right there. A hanging rack as opposed to a hanging rod will tend to keep coat hangers in place as opposed to sliding around, so it'll keep stuff where you want it. So you have, like either two hanging closets or a dedicated pantry, cabinet, closet, really kind of whatever you want it and kind of need it to be. Back in the main slide space, something I want to point out. Whether it's that tabletop, the kitchen countertop, the bathroom countertop, they're all going to be a sealed edge press membrane, and Freedom Express and really Coachman at large has been doing this for many, many years. They might be the one who's been doing it the longest consecutively. I believe they actually are. I just have never taken the time to verify it because it really doesn't matter. The fact is they're doing it. So if you spill, you know, or the kids maybe spill a drink or you splash some water on the sink, whatever, it's a little more resistant to that sort of exposure. Now, here's something you can't see. And the one in this video has it, but the one in stock might not. This has a larger 15,000 BTU air conditioner. Chances are the one that we have in stock will have that. That is how we do like to build all of our Freedom Expresses. Occasionally though, because especially a super popular model like this, if we sell out of it, we'll call down to the factory, or they'll call us if another dealer backs out on one, and maybe they don't have the bigger air on it. So keep in mind, it might not be there, but typically we will outfit this with a 15,000 BTU air conditioner. It does not cost a whole lot more money. It's a small camper, and some people have tried to argue with our customers that it's overkill. Here's my counterpoint to that. Can you imagine a scenario in which you would regret the extra cooling power you can get on any 30 amp campsite? And the short answer is, I cannot. However, if the question posed to me is, can I imagine a situation in which I would regret not having the extra cooling power? Suddenly the answer becomes, oh yeah, I definitely could imagine a time where I wish I had the extra capacity of the bigger air conditioner like that one at Haylitz. That's why we put them on there, guys. So again, it's an optional piece of equipment, but it's one of those things that you can't see. So I really want you to be able to understand the differences between those things. We will come back to the kitchen in a little bit here. I just want to kind of give you a nice little panoramic view of it. And the control panel on that, up top on that cabinet right there, instead of down low where the grandkid fingers can get to it, I'm not saying, I'm just saying, speaking from experience, I did happen to burn up my grandfather's water heater when we were dry camping when I was a little squirt, but neither here nor there. Corner double over double bunkhouse, very common, very popular arrangement. I do like the upper bunk, which is going to be more big kid centric. Does have the household and USB plugs though, to, on a rainy day, keep the big kiddos occupied. And both bunks will have their own airflow window, by the way, and you know, LED lights for each bunk as well. Now, another area, well, it kind of circles back to the taller interior ceiling that I mentioned earlier. It's one of the things that makes me very, very happy with the Freedom Express. And every time I sit here and ask myself, you know, if my family, if I was going to get us a new camper today, what would it be? This one is always top 3, and usually it ranks typically about number 1 for my personal intended use, how I would camp. I could see myself in this thing with my family very easily. Here's one of the reasons why. That taller shower. I wake up mean. I do not wake up nice. This sunny disposition and goofy attitude I have, if it's an early morning video, it takes me a lot of effort to spit that stuff out. But the fact is, the taller ceiling here means I don't have to have my head in that skylight. The skylight just makes it nicer in here. Now, if you're super tall, if you're 6.5 foot and taller, you're really going to appreciate the taller ceiling here. The hanging towel rack right there is a nice place when you get out of the shower. And you don't have to rub down the shower walls with this because obviously you have the shower surround paneling here. Another nice thing here is plenty of legroom in front of a porcelain foot flush stool. So they're using nicer fixtures in here, kind of like the nicer countertops that we saw. And notice the detail work that we actually have an angle mounted medicine cabinet here in the bathroom area, so that you don't necessarily have to like stand halfway out of the bathroom or like in the door just to be able to look at the mirror or anything of that nature. As if the bunks weren't enough, you also have this big fold down like 7-foot dinette. It's, what is it, like roughly 42 inches deep or something like that? Because you see it does stick out of that slide out a little bit, so maybe 40 inches, whatever it is. It's a nice big long wide dinette, and you've also got full privacy with the sliding doors for mom and dad or grandpa and grandma or whoever in that front bedroom area there. Maybe just a couple friends, I don't know. Whoever you're camping with, you're going to have privacy for the front bed is my point. So you've got 4 separate sleeping zones. You know, if you sleep 2 in the master bed, you could sleep 5 in here without sharing any other bed space, and you could maybe cram up to 7 or 8 in here, depending on what you're doing. TV can spin around to face the master bedroom if you are so inclined. Now, below that, you do have your DVD Bluetooth player and a handy little phone charging station, so you can keep all your devices charged up. And then what I would probably do is I'd put a small little power strip down there, since the phones don't really suck a lot of juice. No big deal in putting a couple of them on a power strip to give everyone the little phone charging space they need. Now, you've got a clutter-cutting shoe garage right by the entry door. You know I am a nut for those things if you watch a lot of my videos, and for good reason. I actually go camping, guys, and it's the little things like that, the little convenience factors that make me like Freedom Expresses and a lot of other V's that have similar features, because it's the recreation part of the recreational vehicles. It's the simple, easy nature of things. Now, we've already seen a bunch of storage, so let's look at more storage, because I've never had somebody ever trade in a camper because I couldn't keep the cabinets full, and gosh darn it, there was just too much counter space for me. So real quick note, big breeze-through window right here in the kitchen, and look at this little attention to detail. This is classic camping, guys, but with over 50-some years of experience, these are the little Coachman details a lot of other brands will miss or they'll cut the corner on. They keep that little mini blind shade string up out of the way, away from fire sources like your oven. Now you've got this big sealed edge peninsula style countertop holding a stone cast sink. That is a not a plastic sink, it's an upgrade there from, oh, it's standard in a Freedom Express though, but it's rated for up to 500 degrees. Now the sink cover plus the flush mount stove give us some pretty darn good prep space in this camper, and those little night light knobs are going to be your best friend late in the evening, along with those accent lights we've seen under the dinette. Now, under the sink here, if I don't tell you about this, my rep from Freedom Express has threatened to drive up here to Michigan from Indiana and kill me. So, I have fulfilled my duty, Mr. Norb from Coachman, and shown the Coachman utensil drawer, as I like to call it. The idea here is that it wraps around the sink. It's the most efficient use of space under a sink you're going to find in the RV business. You also do have a pair of normal full extension drawers. You're not only relegated to just the sink drawer that we're looking at, and you have storage space below that as well under this countertop. Now, we've already talked about the shoe garage, a little bit of a miniature pantry-tainment center right there, a little mini storage area under the TV enclosure. And then up front here, in addition to the taller ceiling, another of the reasons I personally really like this brand is a longer 80-inch bed. You've got a residential size queen bed in this thing as opposed to the short camp queens you find in a lot of campers. More and more brands have gone to the longer bed that Freedom Express has been using for many years now. You've got dual side hanging closets that are full length, so you don't have that sharp corner, you know, hanging down and jabbing you. You've got a full overhead cabinet. You've got the dual reading lamps above. And then you've got household and USB plugs here to keep all your devices, your CPAPs, your everything all charged up and ready to rock and roll. So Freedom Expresses, as I've described, they're taller, they have bigger beds, they're a bigger, full-size, bordering oversized camper at a lighter weight. Well, they use a lot of aluminum structure, and under the sidewall skin, they use a material called AZDEL. It's a resin composite material. The material itself is lighter weight, can't rot, mold, or mildew. It's a nice longevity item, but it's one of the things that helps them be bigger but lighter without sacrificing structural integrity. Because you can certainly make an RV lighter if you start, you know, eliminating a couple studs here and there, but then you're going to have problems. And we have found we are not having Freedom Express problems. Now you see this indoor-outdoor picnic table right here. Sometimes they're black, sometimes they're white. They're included in every Freedom Express. So you have your own built-in picnic table. And just like you have a light under the awning, you have a full light under this pass-through compartment right here to be able to see and access both sides of it very simply and easily. Simple side mount solar prep plug over here gives us the ability to park the camper in the shade to keep it cooler, and then you know, fire up the portable solar panel if you choose to add one. You can kind of chase the sun with it. Now during the daytime, the little nose accent lights that we have in this one, not going to be terribly impressive. I'm just simply proud of myself that I actually remembered to leave my battery box on the outside of the RV. For some reason I have a deficiency there. Let me get a little up closer here. We can see those little dots during the day. Now as long as we're up here, a couple things. This nose cap, this thing, this is heavy duty. you can pound all over this thing. You ain't gonna hurt nothing but your hand. Then up here, one of the more recent updates is the inclusion of a battery disconnect switch on our Freedom Expresses. It is very, very handy. If you have your RV in storage, it really doesn't take too awful long for the newer appliances that are in a lot of RVs to slowly trickle drain that battery. And that phantom load, I say slowly, well, fairly quickly, will you know, take a full battery down to dead. Now, you also may have noticed how they had a tongue-mounted spare tire. It's very uncommon in the industry. It improves load equalization. You know, chances are one of the reasons you're looking at something like this is for weight reasons. You know, it fits within your weight capacity. But the way that weight is balanced can also affect how something is towed. Between the wider stance axles and that tongue-mounted spare, this thing handles very nicely on the roads. The underbelly is enclosed and forced air heated. You may have noticed the power tongue jack. That is an optional piece of equipment we have applied to this Freedom Express. Kind of like the ability to upgrade the air like we typically do, like the rear ladder that we're going to see in a minute. There are several options present in this video that may or may not be present on the one that we have in stock or a different Freedom you might see throughout the industry. I've been told that we equip ours in a very atypical way. I know that our customers seem to enjoy it, so I know that I don't have any intention on changing that. Full outside utility shower, hot and cold next to your black flush, separate cable and satellite hookups, little detail stuff too, like the really rough textured seal gripping, leak preventing slide wall right here, and the very uncommon T-shaped slide seal. Really grab that slide out wall to make sure that seal wipes all the way in or out as it is supposed to do so. The rear bumper is wide open if you choose to add a bike rack, which is one of the reasons they tongue mount that spare tire. We are rear camera ready, whether it's a simple backup only or observation model. We'll have both of those available for you here at Haylett RV. And again, we do add a ladder to the back of these. That's not a standard piece of equipment. So again, always double check our website to make sure, because the one here in this video might not be the exact perfect match for the one that we have in stock. This is just kind of here to educate you and give you an idea of what this brand can offer you. I do want to take note though, you see how big that awning is. We'll come back and open that up, but they put the biggest awning on this thing they possibly could. A small revision to the outside kitchen of this compared to previous generations. It used to be the kitchen telescoped out and there was a drop down countertop space behind it. Evidently, people just weren't getting it. They weren't, we kind of sometimes had mixed reviews on it. I don't think it really offended many people. So what they did is they made it a fixed kitchen sink. It still is a real sink with a real drain into a holding tank, not a dog dish, but this revision allowed them to include another of those utensil drawers that I like so much with that removable utensil tray inside. So it's very easy to always have stuff hanging around now, and like utensils and things, of course. And then you still have the Coleman camp grill that goes with this thing. That's a high output grill that will not tend to flutter and sputter and spit out when you are, you know, in even a mild breeze situation. And oh, Dad's medicine cabinet over here. So you can keep drinks inside. Pardon me, drinks outside, food inside, or you can do whatever you want, I guess, but that's what most people seem to like to do. And it keeps, it's nice to be able to just have a cold drink outside, to not have to track dirt in and out of the camper all day. Now, that portable table can be used for that grill. You could set it here. There's outside TV hookups. You can put it pretty much anywhere you want. Standard aluminum wheels and those wide stance axles, what those are going to do, they're going to help the trailer not want to fishtail and not want to bounce while it's behind you, so that you're going to get a better, smoother, easier, more enjoyable towing experience. One thing I failed to mention, we were in that pass-through compartment, all Freedom Express Ultralites are going to have magnet catches on those doors for easy ins and outs, including that outside kitchen door. And to look at the awning before we head upstairs here, what's nice on this one, they give you maximum possible awning space. It does cover the outside kitchen. There is lighting under it. I just simply don't have that ignited currently. But that's what one of the nice things about the low profile outside kitchens with an awning above, is that you gain the ability to have a little more awning room. The larger outside kitchens, that door kind of sort of eliminates the need for a longer awning. Some longer floor plans, like the 310 BHDS Freedom Express, it does sort of allow them to give you more awning space up front and use the outside kitchen door as a shade in the back though. Now, whether or not you add the rear ladder, all Freedom Expresses will have a full walk-on roof. That's part of the reason I'm up here. Another thing is to describe how they've changed in the past from a tan roof, skin, and nose to a white roof, skin, and nose. That really helps cut down on a lot of the heat that the sun can generate. This isn't the biggest camper, but man, anything you can do to keep the sun out is going to be great. And that, plus the larger air that we typically put on our Freedom Expresses here at Haylett RV, is going to make this very friendly even for our southern or western customers. And we do have quite a few people drive from all over the place to work with us out of here in southern Michigan. We are a very large, very successful Freedom Express dealer. The new Winegard antenna system here, it's a 360 antenna. You don't have to crank it up and down and turn it. All you have to do, it's simpler and easier. You get to your destination, you hit scan on the TV once, and then you go. That's it. You don't have to like turn and scan and none of that stuff. So whether it's hitching, pieces, parts, trades, financing, truck and trailer package deals, RV deliveries, and everything in between, we do it all at Haylett RV, so you don't have to. But we don't do hidden dealer fees. So take care, stay safe, have fun, and happy camping, everyone.